Yes. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is episode 7, part 7 of the SJP Files movie edition. Today we are once again going back to Zack Snyder's Justice League. And we are at the end of the road, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last part, the epilogue. Now, at the end of part 6, this movie is 3 hours and 34 minutes. The epilogue is 28 minutes long. Now, remember what I said. This movie could very much be a lean 3:15 to 3.5 hour movie, and look, we are at the 3.5 hour point. And to be honest, the epilogue doesn't need to be in this movie. I don't hate the epilogue. I'm not a hater of the epilogue, but if you want to do a theatrical release of this movie, the epilogue doesn't need to be in here. It just doesn't. The epilogue is kind of just fan service. A collection of scenes of where the story was probably going to go before they hit like a Flashpoint reboot, I'm assuming, in Justice League 3, where the nightmare sequence was going to happen. But it is what it is. This is the epilogue of Zack Snyder's Justice League, A Father Twice Over. We pick up with Victor Stone in his hoodie and his sweat clothes, piecing together the voice recorder that his father gave to him when he was explaining his powers, and Victor crushed it. And Cyborg, pieces it back together, presses play, rewinds, presses play again to get his father's full speech. And it's Silas Stone's speech that covers the epilogue instead of in the original Justice League. I forget who the speech is. I think it was Bruce. I think it was Bruce Wayne's speech who covers the end of that, the end of the theatrical cut. But in this cut, it's Silas Stone telling his son how proud he is of him, of how sorry he is for the years of wrongs and not being there for him, and he's so proud of the person that he's become. While Silas is talking, we get a skip to Aquaman saying goodbye to Volko and Mira, telling them he has to go to his father, which was supposed to be a setup to his Aquaman movie. So, and then you got James Wan, who does the Aquaman movie, and I will be doing the Aquaman movie. To be honest, what I think I'm going to be doing from here on out after this show is I think I'm going to go through the DCEU essentially throughout all the movies, is what I'm essentially going to be doing over the next couple weeks, with starting probably with Man of Steel, then BVS, then I'm not watching the theatrical cut of Justice League. That's not happening. And then we get, after Aquaman leaves, Mira and Volko on some dudes in some like old dudes 1920s pickup truck. We get Ryan Choi, aka the Atom, being essentially name dropped and formally introduced as the head of this new, as the head of research over the Kryptonian ship. Then we jump to Batman and Alfred. This scene was in the theatrical cut, and I do love this scene. To be honest, I did not think this scene was Zack Snyder's scene. Like the scene, the scene I'm talking about, the big round table, 6 chairs, Diana walks in with room for more, and Bruce replies with a big smile on his face, but room for more. And you get that scene of that, and then we jump to Barry. This scene, I love this scene. This scene was adorable. Barry, telling his dad he got like a CSI job with the Central City Police Department, a job, and this scene is so adorable. Your foot's in the door, and Barry says his foot's in the door, and he's just like, Isn't that a thing people say? And Barry's dad is cracking up. He is so happy. He's so proud of him. It's a fun scene. It's a scene I absolutely love. It's great. It's absolutely great. I love it. I absolutely love it. And this is a fantastic ending to a fantastic movie. And then we get the scene where Bruce buys back the farm for Clark. He didn't actually buy the farm. He bought the bank. Once again, Bruce showing off. Showing off just how rich he is. There was no need to buy... Okay, he just bought the whole bank and then congratulates Clark because Lois is pregnant and Clark found out. Congratulations. You see Lois, you see Lois kind of holding like some baby stuff. And then we cut to... And over this whole thing, Silas Stone is talking, and at his parents' grave, Cyborg kind of loses the sweatsuit and kind of like, it's one of those, this is who I am scene, lift off into the sky, and Commissioner Gordon, and then we cut to Commissioner Gordon hitting the light, hitting the bat signal, and Batman seeing it, and that's essentially the end of our movie, and that takes all of 5 minutes, and we're at basically 3:40. So from essentially this on, you don't need the rest of this movie. From essentially this on, you do not need the rest of this movie. The rest of this movie right here is unnecessary. We have Diana in all black holding the arrow of Artemis, looking off into the distance, homesick, longing for home. And in the theatrical cut, I believe she's stopping like a museum robbery. And then I believe she's stopping a museum robbery in the theatrical cut. And here she's looking all pensive and mourning for her people. Barry running through the Speed Force. It's like Barry has like completely accepted who he is and what he is, running through the streets of Central City in full costume. Then we get Clark getting some trouble, taking the glasses off, jumping into the alley, and doing the Superman, pull the shirt up, and he's still wearing the black and silver suit. And then we get the scene when the guards notice that Lex Luthor has escaped, and this is Lex Luthor's second scene in this movie. And then we get our first look, which is supposed to be our first look at Deathstroke. Now, this was supposed to lead into... Now, in the theatrical cut, this is the scene where Lex Luthor tells Deathstroke we need to start forming a team of our own. And in this cut, it's just Lex Luthor telling Deathstroke Batman's identity is Bruce Wayne, which was supposed to set up their Batman Deathstroke movie. If you've ever seen like the trailer for Arkham Knight, the fight between Batman and Deathstroke in that trailer is fantastic. If we were going to get a movie of that would have been amazing, but we are arguably probably never going to get this movie. Hashtag the Snyderverse, return to the Snyderverse. It's amazing. I want the Snyderverse to be popping again, but I very much enjoy the Snyderverse movies. I'm an MCU fan too. I love the MCU, but I like the kind of darker, more realistic take on these heroes. And the truth, justice, and the American way. Man, Superman didn't grow up in the 50s. Or the 60s, or the 70s, or the 80s. He's not that guy. And then we get a flash to our second nightmare sequence of the movie. This is the scene that they added in over the last year or so, when we get parademons dropping by and Batman comes out of the shadows. He's with Cyborg, Mira, The Flash, Deathstroke, and of course Jared Leto's Joker. Now, I like the aesthetic look of Jared Leto's Joker in the Suicide Squad. Terrible movie. Well, Suicide Squad is not a terrible movie. It's not a good movie, but it's not a terrible movie. But you could see they're all fucking terrified of running into Superman. Cyborg looks like Cyborg, Mira, Deathstroke, Batman, the Flash, it looks like they've all been put through hell and just trying to survive. And we get that scene we get the dialogue scene between Joker and Batman, and there are a couple cringy lines. I don't love Jared Leto's Joker. I thought we were gonna get a more like sadistic Joker in the Suicide Squad, or this Joker doesn't make me feel fear like some of the other Jokers did. He doesn't make me think he's a complete lunatic. But in this one, I would love to see Ben Affleck back as the Batman. He looks amazing as the Batman, but the Joker, I like the aesthetic look. This conversation, it's Jared Leto's Joker essentially taunting Batman with the death of Robin. Now, whether that Robin is Dick Grayson or Jason Todd, nobody actually knows. We have Batman and Joker threatening each other back and forth. Batman telling Joker that before Harley Quinn died, she made him promise to kill the Joker in the most painful way possible, and he promised he would do it. Batman drops an F-bomb. And I don't hate this conversation. I don't exactly love it either. I don't love it. It's not a scene that I think needs to be in this movie. The entire nightmare sequence, the second half nightmare sequence, doesn't need to be in this movie. Like I say, you could cut this off and do a clean, lean 3.5 hours with credits and everything. It could be a lean 3.5 hours, give or take, and that would be a great movie. And we get Batman and Deathstroke talking to each other. It looks like they've kind of mended fences. And then the Kryptonian shows up. The Superman shows up. Out of nowhere, drops in, and everybody gets ready to fight. Cyborg unleashes a minigun. The Flash, tunes up in his armor. Mirror's ready to go. Once again, doing a horrendous English accent that really needs to stop. What is this accent she was doing, and why was she doing it? God, make it stop. Make it stop. And we have Superman looking like he's ready to kill every single one of them. Batman awakens to find the Martian Manhunter essentially floating outside of his window, coming down to have a talk, telling Bruce that, hey, it's time to join in to the fight. Now, once again, I don't know if you're listening, you know that this scene wasn't actually supposed to be the Martian Manhunter. This scene was supposed to be John Stewart's Green Lantern introducing himself to Bruce Wayne and to Justice League. How John Stewart would have known that Bruce Wayne, or whether it would have been Hal Jordan or John Stewart, how he would have known Bruce Wayne is the Batman is beyond me. But the Martian Manhunter's a telepath, so him knowing is no big secret. He drops his own name in this scene. I do like the way he looks in this scene. This scene, he looks a little bit better. The Martian Manhunter knows that the anti-life equation is here, and he knows Darkseid's gonna come for it. He wants to help. He's essentially been on Earth for a long time. He's taken many forms, and he realized he has a big stake in this world now. Now, the story of what happened to his own planet has gone through different iterations. There's, he's the last of his people. There's his people got wiped out by the White Martians. It's his people got wiped out by the White Martians. It's his people got wiped out by another alien race. It's a whole bunch of other shit that nobody really knows. No one really knows which Martian Manhunter they're going with the version of his backstory we're going with. But he's clearly been on Earth for a while. He leaves, tells Bruce he'll be in touch, and then drops his name. Some have called me the Martian Manhunter, which means he's been on Earth for a while and has introduced himself to people before. And the fact that no one knows who he is, he's not in Luthor's files, I would suggest that means it's been a while since he's revealed himself to any singular being on this planet. It's been a while since he's revealed himself, and the people he does reveal himself to don't really. And then we get Martian Manhunter flying off. That's the end of our movie. That is the end of our epilogue. That is the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, a fantastic movie. And at the end we get a For Autumn. I believe that is Zack Snyder's daughter. May she rest in peace. But we get the credits rolling, and that is the end of our movie. And my God, this shit is 4 hours long. And as much as I love this movie, when you're watching it from start to finish, you don't realize how long it is. You're so engrossed in it that time flies. First time I watched this, I started watching this at midnight, finished at 4 a.m., and I didn't notice. And the only time I noticed that, holy shit, I'm 2 hours into this movie and I've still got 2 hours left, is when I took a break at like 2 o'clock in the morning to go to the bathroom real quick. That's the only time I noticed like the real passage of time in this movie. Now, when I'm actually, stopping bit by bit to do a breakdown of this thing, that's when you notice, my God, this shit is 4 hours in. I'm at part 4 and I've still got 2 hours left to go. I'm at part 5 and I've still got 90 minutes left. At end of part 6, there's still 30 to 40 minutes left of this movie. Jesus Christ, this shit is long. But it's long in a fantastic way. This is if I were to rank this, I would rank it probably, if I were to rank the DCEU movies so far, I would probably say Aquaman's probably my favorite, and then either Man of Steel or Justice, or Zack Snyder's Justice League. I haven't figured out which one to go by yet, but at this point I'd probably go with Zack Snyder's Justice League, then go Man of Steel, then go the Ultimate Edition of BVS. Actually, no. I'd go Wonder Woman, then the Ultimate Edition of BVS, and then probably Shazam, and then the theatrical cut of BVS, and then the theatrical cut of Justice League. I don't think I missed a movie. I think that was the whole. I think what was it? Aquaman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, the Ultimate Edition of BVS, Shazam, theatrical cut of BVS, and then the theatrical cut of Justice League, which I think is a terribly incoherent, completely unwatchable movie. That if I do a show on it, I'm probably gonna go through the next couple of weeks, probably go through the DCEU movies one by one, week after week. Next week will probably be my next episode. I'm looking at probably maybe either I'm thinking Wednesday for the next episode of the SJP Files movie edition. Look out for it. If I can't drop an episode, I'll drop a trailer or drop a little short, letting you guys know when the episode is coming up. But as of right now, I'm looking at Wednesday for probably Man of Steel, which jumped off this whole universe. And I love Man of Steel. Man of Steel is a great movie. Like I said in part 6, Man of Steel has one of the greatest comic book movie scenes ever with Superman's first flight. It's a fantastic scene. If you haven't seen it, or you haven't seen it in a while, go on YouTube, look it up. I mean, it's a beautiful scene. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the epilogue. I am your host, SJP. This is the SJP Files movie edition. Please listen again. tell your friends, let people know what I'm doing on the podcast so that they can enjoy it and pass it on to their friends and so on or so forth, so we can help grow this show. Thank you very much. Have a good day.